Bill and Jim Carver have experience shutting down their businesses when they don't have customers. They also know how to use that downtime wisely. You're watching the Local News Network, brought to you by Fast Signs of Durango. I'm Wendy Graham-Settle. When La Plata County hit code red on the COVID dial last week, San Juan Basin Public Health prohibited indoor dining at area restaurants. And while many have chosen to sell to-go meals, one longtime Durango establishment has decided to close, at least until next spring. Bill and Jim Carver announced last week that they've chosen to forgo a to-go model and to close the Carver Brewing Company because of the rapid rise in La Plata County's COVID cases.
It's a very hard decision to close, but like Jim was saying, from a business point of view, we might be able to do a to-go program, but the community viewpoint with the big statistic we've been using is in the last 16 days, there's been more COVID cases here than in the last 6 or 7 months. And so it's really taken off. And I think we all expected it to as the cold weather moved in. And obviously our outdoor dining got shut down due to weather, which makes sense. But given the to-go model and the amount of cases that spiked, we thought it was best to just go to a very skeleton crew for the winter.
It was easier this time than March. March was really hard. So we got to plan, we got to think, like what's it going to look like and all that. So having gone through it already made this one a little easier, but it's still really difficult. We had almost 40 people on our payroll. They're all laid off, collecting unemployment. And, that's the biggest thing is, and those 40 people, they have significant others and children at home. And so this business supports well over 100 people. That's the one of the hard things.
The Carver brothers are no strangers to temporary closures. As owners of a Winter Park restaurant prior to their move to Durango in the mid-1980s, they were accustomed to 9-week closures during mud season in April and May.
Biggest thing, we closed in Winter Park in the spring just because the ski area ended. There were no tourists. Everybody who could afford to leave, so there were no customers. And that's kind of what we're thinking here is there's just no customers for what for to go to make it worthwhile. And as soon as the customers come back, we can reopen.
The Carver brothers say they plan to use the downtime wisely by brewing several batches of lager-type beers for release next spring when they hope to reopen. Lagers typically take longer to brew and age than other types of beer. They also plan to sell beer to go on Fridays and Saturdays. And they plan to can their beer in 12-ounce containers, a move they've been contemplating for a while now, but haven't had the time to implement. To learn more about their to-go sales and future plans to reopen, visit their website at carverbrewing.com. Thanks for watching this episode of the Local News Network. Please be safe this season by practicing social distancing and wearing a mask to protect yourself and others. I'm Wendy Graham-Settle.